The Heir of Brotherhood, Part 2, The Age of the Bridge. Chapter 6, After the Peacemaker, 2004 to 2010. The funeral of Arben Krasniqi was the largest gathering in Yugoslav history. From Ljubljana to Skopje, trains carried millions draped in red-blue-white flags. The people wept as if they had lost their father, again. In Belgrade, an old woman laid a flower and whispered, "He was not one of us, but he was ours." Krasniqi's death left a vacuum no constitution could fill. The presidency passed to his deputy, Milan Dragic, a quiet Serb technocrat loyal to the late leader's ideals. But Milan was a manager, not a visionary. For the first time in decades, the cracks began to show. Slovenia and Croatia demanded faster EU entry. Serbia wanted more federal control. Kosovo's leaders, proud of their autonomy, now dreamed of independence, not from Yugoslavia, but from the idea of being ruled by anyone. The newspapers called it the soft unraveling. Chapter 7, The Balkan Spring, 2010 to 2015. In 2011, youth movements began to rise, not with guns, but with smartphones and songs. They didn't want to destroy Yugoslavia, but to modernize it. From Sarajevo came a viral slogan: "Brotherhood is not a museum. It's a choice." A new generation, born after Tito and grown under Arben, saw themselves as Yugoslav 2.0. They spoke mixed languages, listened to Balkan fusion music, and laughed at their parents' old nationalist jokes. Krasniqi's portrait hung in classrooms, not as a dictator, but as a reminder, unity was possible. Under pressure from youth and reformists, President Dragic announced the Second Federal Charter, turning the old Socialist Federation into the Yugoslav Union, a democratic alliance of republics. Each republic gained more control, but the army, currency, and foreign policy stayed shared. It worked, barely. Chapter 8, The Great Reconciliation, 2015 to 2025. As the EU stumbled with crises and the world turned inward, Yugoslavia found its new mission, being a bridge again. The Yugoslav Union joined the European Economic Area but refused full membership. "We are Europeans," said Foreign Minister Drayton Kovivi, "but we will not trade our unity for someone else's approval." Belgrade became a city of embassies and tech startups. Sarajevo turned into the Balkan Brussels. Pristina hosted the Yugoslav Peace Institute, teaching conflict resolution to diplomats from Africa and the Middle East. In Tetovo, a statue of Arben Krasniqi was unveiled, not a soldier on horseback, but a man in a simple coat, holding out a dove. Children placed flowers beneath it every spring. Chapter 9, The Shadows of Memory. But history never sleeps long in the Balkans. Old nationalist parties still whispered in the dark. Some Serb veterans muttered that too much had been given away. Some Albanians said that no amount of unity can erase the border in the heart. When a right-wing movement tried to declare Serbian sovereignty over Kosovo in 2023, the army, still under the federal command, surrounded the protesters but didn't fire. Instead, the commander read a line from Krasniqi's old diary: "We learned to fight each other for freedom. We must now learn to fight for each other's freedom." The crowd dispersed in silence. Chapter 10, The Legacy, 2025 and beyond. By 2025, the Yugoslav Union stood as a quiet miracle, a federation that had outlived its founders, wars, and empires. Its flag, the old tricolour, now with a golden star reborn as a ring, waved from Skopje to Split. In schools, children studied not only the wars that never happened, but the peace that did. They learned how one man from Tetovo, once doubted for his name and origin, had saved a country by refusing to see enemies and neighbours. In an interview on the 45th anniversary of his presidency, a journalist asked an old veteran what Arben Krasniqi had really been like. The veteran smiled, eyes full of years. "He was no saint," he said, "but he was the first man who made us believe that Yugoslav wasn't just a word, it was a home."